annual trip to Jindabyne to see if we can find a fallow buck. And it's been a year and 1 week exactly since we were there last, and so we haven't done any scouting. We haven't been to the property. Apparently it's been shot up a bit, but anyway, we'll just see what we find, and hopefully we can find a few bucks still making a bit of noise, and yeah, it should be good anyway. Get away and get some miles into the legs. Anyway, come along, we'll see what we can find. Do a big shout out to Patreon and everyone that's over there supporting me. It's awesome. I think I'm hovering around that 120 mark solid now, so it's a pretty cool thing. It's fairly big support for such a small channel, but if you are watching and you have been watching a lot of the content, consider the support over at Patreon for me. Like a channel as small as mine doesn't get a lot of views. There's no money in ad revenue, and I'm actually thinking about getting rid of it, just to free up the content a little bit. And but the support over at Patreon's a real thing, and for as little as $5 a month, so you know, a pot of beer at the pub a month, you can get some other content and join the community over there. And I've actually got 5 tickets to the Wild Deer Expo to give away, so that's a little bonus for those guys. And I do little giveaways, you know, when I do reviews on products that are given to me. So if you're thinking about it, it'd be really appreciated. And the way that YouTube's sort of running the algorithms and that sort of thing, it's hard to keep up. And I'm sort of thinking that I might go down the same lines as some of these bigger US YouTube channels, where they actually start their own subscription website where all their content goes there, so then it's uncensored. Because I'm going to put up some footage on this one that's, you know, butchering a deer, and if I did that with YouTube and put ad revenue on, they'd shut it down. So I don't want to be censored like that. I don't want to have to watch what I say or do. So with Patreon, if I keep it unlisted, the video's unlisted, I don't have to worry about that censorship. So I'm just going to trial it this year. What I'm trying to say is for everyone that has hit the subscribe button and give me the thumbs up over the years, you have definitely got the channel to where it is now, so thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. But to grow the channel to the next level, it's not going to come from subscribers or views or even you know, thumbs up. So it's going to come from Patreon support. So that's what I've got to aim at. I've got to try and work out a way to convince subscribers to become patrons, and that's a real hard thing to get people to put their hand in their pocket and pay for something that they've been getting for free for so long. So it's probably going to be a hard transition, but that's the way I see it going. Yeah, so leave me some feedback on that one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a bit from both sides there, but anyway, that's what I'm thinking anyway. Unfortunately, we forgot in the clean out of the camp box to put cups in. So Emmett's having a bowl of Milo. It's a bit cold this morning, isn't it, mate? But sky's just starting to glow, so we're ready to go. We've only heard one buck this morning. He's a fair way off. So we're just sort of stalking through some really nice country, hoping that when we get into gullies we can hear some more deer croaking. Very
did hear some croaking last night, but not in the area I wanted them to be. I think it's got a broken leg. It does. It should. Alright, we got this buck here with a broken leg. And we got one grunting up the gully. We've snuck our way in on 3 or 4 bucks grunting on a big rut pad. We've had them come and go from the rut pad, but none would just sit still long enough for a shot. Wind's in our favour, and they just continually just swing past this rut pad, so it's like a communal one, I reckon. Every now and again, the bucks drag the hides back in. No, it's coming out up the top. Oh, where you last saw him. Can you see him? He's coming down the hill now. You found him? Yeah. That's a fellow doe call. Do you like him?
But the problem is when I try and bring
Me! 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 Me!
Come on.
We've just been sitting here on this big rut pad, and we had the buck that we were trying to get early come back in, but just bed up, and he's just giving us a croak every now and again. And we had a spike come in, and then the buck that was bedded up just went nuts. But then we had a buck down below us croaking a bit, and so I was doe calling and croaking as well, trying to get him excited. And then I noticed that the croaking back up where the bedded buck was got real deep. And then Emmett goes, "There's another buck there." And sure enough, one of the bigger ones with cleft palms come back in and made a bloody good shot on him, I think. I've just come down there, and big rut pads up in there. So that buck run down there and go down there for a bit of a look, Emmett.
Yes.
Lift him, bring his antlers out, put the tripod down. Hasn't broken it, has he? Pull him out. How big's that side? Oh yeah. Nice one, Emmett.
I wonder how you're gonna get it out.
Well done, mate. Just coming up to this rut pad. They've been busy here. The buck we were trying to get was bedded up in here, but we couldn't see him through the heads of these trees apart from his antlers. I reckon he... Look at this. Sign. It smells of deer here, doesn't it? So, I reckon he turned like this. That's his marks there, down there. I can just see his legs poking up over there. And we shot from, about there. It's only about a 100-yard shot. Well, you got to be patient. We bumped all these deer out of here this morning because we came through probably a little bit high looking back at it now. We were a little bit skylined, I think, and a couple of hinds picked us up and scattered out. But there was about 3, maybe 4 bucks, and there was probably 2 or 3 spikes. And they basically, all those bucks herded those hinds up, all those does up, and brought them back to this big rut pad. And they were just, going nuts here. And anyway, so we just sat on it, and every now and again the bucks, like the deer were all still here, and the bucks would just circle back through this rut pad and just freshen it up a bit and have a look around, have a bit of a croak, and then they'd sort of spin out and go look. There was a couple of hinds or does, does were calling, so they were obviously ready to breed, and the bucks would go up to them, and then they'd swing back around, and we knew there was one good chocolate one real nice meanle one, which I think he was the big buck in here this morning, and when the first lot went out, I don't think he came back. It might have come back once, just for a quick bit of a look, but so anyway, we got one of the more mature ones out of this mob, and pretty happy with that, Emmett. So, yeah, got a little bit of work to do now. It's not too far I can get the vehicle to, I don't know, maybe, it's all uphill, but only 150 metres maybe. So, let's go down and get some photos, and some video. Here we are. We've made a flying trip to Jindabyne as usual. Never really do any scouting or anything, just fly up here for a weekend and forget about it for 12 months. Anyway, so we did the big drive up last night, didn't we? And
had tea at Cairn River and got up here, got into bed at what, 10 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was a few bucks croaking, but it was pretty quiet where I thought the bucks would be. But anyway, it just turns out they were one gully over. Yeah, we went up to our little spot where we can hear, and we heard some buck croaking over this way, so that's what made us come through that saddle. And we had that buck with the bung back leg down lower, which I really felt like we probably should have smacked him, but the rut's pretty hard on these deer, and they get belted up pretty hard, so he could recover from that. It didn't look like it was actually broken. It just looked like maybe he had some big muscle bruising, or might have copped a tine in the back leg here somewhere. But anyway, we'll if we see him and get a closer look and determine whether he's got a broken leg or not, we might put him down. But yeah, so we snuck over through the saddle over there, and you could hear them just on the other side, and I knew that there was some good rut pads here. So I had an idea where to sneak into, but we got busted by a couple of hinds up high. But luckily we were basically crawling hands and knees, weren't we, mate? And so I don't think they'd seen our profile, so they sort of watched us from about 50 metres and then just trotted off. And when they did that, I did some doe calls and that, and kept these bucks stirred up a little bit and distracted. Anyway, yeah, we got in and we got set up, but our position wasn't ideal, and we had I only had a small window on looking through the canopy over here and onto that rut pad, and we missed a couple of opportunities if we had have snuck in a bit earlier. But anyway, we had to change positions, didn't we, and got set up again. And anyway, we made a good shot. It's perfect. Him on the other side, but yeah, heart shot, and it's gone through and broken this offside shoulder leg. I don't know what level, but it was definitely a heart shot, so I'm guessing it's broke down pretty low on this opposite leg here. So 6.5 Creemore with 143 grain ELDX has done a great job once again. It's a great little round for this size animal. Yeah, it really hits them hard. But yeah, anyway, we had fun, haven't we? What did we hear this morning? Croaking.
A deer next to our tent.
Yeah, and last night, you'll see in the video footage of when we turned up, there was a rut pad right next to the tent, and Emmett laughed that he thought that the deer might rub on the side of the tent. Well, half an hour after going to bed, I could hear antlers rattling on the wattle trees like 50 metres from camp, and then I heard it bound in, do a bit of a bark and a snort, and then bound out. So he definitely came in for a look, and we were camped up in his spot, so that was pretty fun. But you were asleep by then. Got down to, what was it this morning? 2 degrees. So it was a pretty chilly start. It's quite a nice day now, a little bit of a cool breeze. But yeah, anyway, he smells like a ruddy buck. They've been going pretty hard, I think, for the last week. So he's lost the condition off his backbone. You can see it sticking out here. But what are we calling this one? Chocolate brownie. Yeah. So the last one was a nice white with some spots, not quite a meanle. Yeah, and then we got this one, Chocky brownie. So bit of an upgrade from last year. Anyway, I better get busy with some knives. Might test out some of the R&M blade knives that I've got. Got a helium and a Zoe zipper. So. And I've got also got his work sharp, I think it's called, sharpening system, which is pretty good too. Righto, so I've got R&M Blades Zoe zipper here, great for skinning, and I got the helium as well, which obviously it's super lightweight. It's just good all round. I absolutely love this knife. Great backpacking knife, super light, sharp as. And yeah, I've also got this work sharpening system. So it's got a coarse stone, a fine stone, a steel or a ceramic steel for getting the burr up nice and straight, and then you got a lapper here as well, a strop. Yeah, I think you can change this so you can do fish hooks and all sorts of little things. And just a little one there. I don't really know what that's for, but these are the guides here. So that 20-degree guide is the right angle if you push your blade flat there, and then just draw it across. And I just simply, once you've got your knife pretty sharp, you only need to do the fine stone, and then you just go back the other way, and then just a couple of little, and then I just finish it off with a strop. Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, we'll do a bit of skinning work on this thing. The Zoe Zipper's got a real ergonomic handle for such a small blade. Fits quite well, full-size handle, and it's got the really nice curve to it for skinning. And like you saw, if you get up underneath the skin, you can just open them up like a zipper. Hence Zoe Zipper. I find that the helium's just as good. It's just got a bit smaller, a shorter blade surface to work with, so you just got to find that sweet spot. But when you're backpacking, a fixed blade like that's just a lot safer than a replacement blade scalpel, which is what I usually run. But since having that, it's like, for the penalty for a little bit extra weight, I would rather take that with the sharpener. Obviously it's just a little bit heavier, but it's not much. With the little helium, it's just so handy for carving out. It's awesome for getting the eye fillets out, because it just fits in your hand, and you know you're not going to hit the gut bag or anything. Yeah. You want to grab one of those meat bags out of that, mate? Another good product that I've just recently bought late last year, and used it a couple of times now, is these Argali meat bags. Bloody super lightweight, and they're sort of a silky texture, but they don't seem to bleed through like you would think. Keep your bag nice and clean, and your meat is out of the dirt, which is always good. There's one. Getting cold again, mate. Right, got that bag ready? Let him in. Open her up. That's it. Good job. Just use the little helium to take this back leg off. Yep, the big vein here we're going to pop in a minute. Somewhere here, there he is. There's his. Close to it. There it is. Oop. And remember when you get that socket joint on the hip to roll your knife around underneath it, because there's a whole heap of good meat just right underneath it, and if you just cut it off straight there, you'll lose a heap. Follow the pelvis and get in around behind it. So that's all bone there, see? Yep. Use the bone as a guide. Stack of fat, huh? Yeah, there's one leak. Honey and rosemary lamb chops and sour chives and creamy sour chives or whatever hell it is, pasta, in an enamel plate on your lap, up the bush with your young bloke. That's living, isn't it, mate?
Mm-hmm.
Don't make too much movement, mate. Here he comes, look. He might have just caught out air, actually. It was coming in. Here he comes. Coming right in around underneath it.
We slipped in on that buck and I didn't really get any good footage of him, but he wasn't big enough to shoot, and the one that barreled out on the bottom with a chasing a hind, he wasn't big enough either. Sort of stopped for me about 250 metres, but yeah, he wasn't. He certainly wasn't as big as last year's buck, so I just passed him up. We've just had a snack, haven't we, mate?
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a snack and
A bag of lollies.
a bag of lollies, chocky bar, and yeah, we're just gonna slip down this gully back to the creek and back into camp, pack up and head home. Big long drive, Emmett. Been a good trip though, hasn't it? You might be fooled to think, oh, I found some sambar sign. And there is sambar here, but not very many. But if you find a wallow like this, and then you find mud on trees down that low, it's pigs. But we have got mud up here too, so we've got sambar and pigs wallowing in this same wallow. More mud. So I have seen some sambar in this country, but for whatever reason they're just not thick in here. I've probably only seen 1, 5 or 6 over 6 or 7 years, and even the property owner doesn't see them very regularly. So they are here, but yeah, so fallow don't wallow. So if you find wallows in fallow country, it's either pigs, red deer or sambar. So this wallow here is mainly pigs with a little bit of sambar. And yeah, so the mud down real low is the pigs, and the mud up higher is obviously the sambar. Mud down here, it's only about 1.5 foot off the ground. That's definitely a pig. But then you come around this side and we got mud at about 1 metre, so it's too high for a pig. Same here, a little bit of mud. Got mud on that one too, have we, Emmett? No, a little bit of mud up here, so it's probably about 1,500 off the ground, so too high for a pig. And if you actually look hard here, it's a scrape underneath this tree. Now that could be fallow, but more than likely that's a sambar because it's just next to that wallow there. The situation I needed to be in on the way home. I didn't film the first little bit because I thought we might tip over, but we're a lot closer to getting out. There's a big hole under there. The front wheel went down in it. Anyway, I think we're nearly out. They've been just crossing in and out of there, no dramas, and then today, front wheel just into that hole. Big lisp that way, I didn't film any of that. Got the winch out, winch wouldn't work. Bloody hell. Anyway, found the fuse that was blown, didn't have a big enough one, put one in that was supposed to have 30 in it, put a 20 in it, and yeah, so ran the winch out, thinking happy days, just winch out up here. Winch wouldn't work. Hooked on the tree, pulled tree out of the ground. Had to run winch extension strap, so I tried to pull off this tree right down the base, just pulled it. You see it was going to pull it out of the ground. So I went up to the bigger tree with the winch extension strap and pulled myself up into the creek, which at least did a big wheel lift. Felt a bit weird, but anyway, that at least got us in the gully here, and then we got bogged down in here, which you would have just seen Emmett video, but put the mat tracks in the bottom. I've hardly ever used these things, a couple of times in Cape York. Well worth the investment. I've got 4 of them, so it's 2 sets, and they just stay on the ute all the time. I just couldn't get traction. You can see where the fronts are spinning, back with his hitting down in the air, it's all slippery. Those things straight out, boom.